All right, Sierra, you're the star of the show. Make everybody happy. What's up, girl? I know. Oh boy. Hey, what's up, everyone? The storms haven't quite hit yet. It's kind of coming and going, and there's a little bit of a break right here, so I don't think we're gonna get any right now. But it has come through a little bit. It just hasn't come through a bunch. It was raining here about 5 minutes ago, and then it just now lightened up, and you can see there's like a little bit of a window right there, and there's more clouds that are coming behind it. So we'll see if that comes in. Come on, Sierra, let's come inside here. Actually, let's walk around. Let me show you what I've got here. Not much has changed other than I went and got a bunch of pylons right there, those little concrete pylons to put down. And those are real nice. You can just put like a 4x4 in here and it goes straight up, and you're good to go. Or you can put, 2x6s in there and make like a foundation for a cabin base. So we'll probably do something like that. Still have the storage containers back there and then also the water, but haven't done the hot tub yet. And basically, this week I spent the whole week. There was a huge debris pile that was back over in there that I used to that was accumulated when I cut this road in and made it bigger, and pretty much spent the whole week just getting that all burned up. Do you want to come inside, girl? Come in here. I want to show you. I got that new battery from Blue Eddy. So Blue Eddy sent over the AC. Come inside, girl. The AC 200p, and this battery is awesome. It is it's a big one. It's 78 pounds, which is crazy to think it's that gargantuan. But I've got it just sitting right here. And the thing that I really like about it is that when I was charging it earlier today, and I had 460, let's see, yeah, 460 watts of solar set up outside, and it was still a little bit hazy, and I was getting 458 watts, which I was really impressed with that. I can put up to 700 watts at one time of solar into here, and the total battery capacity is 2,000. So ideally, if you have full sun and you're pulling in 700 watts, you could charge that in just under 3 hours, which is pretty amazing. So I did hear from let me go over here like this. I did hear from the mechanic today, actually like just now. And I'm just frustrated because that truck is, I had those engine problems like 2 years ago, and it's like I've got them again. And he was telling me, he's like, man, he's like, there's all sorts of error codes coming in, and he's like, I looked at it for like 30 minutes, and he's like, I think there's some internal problems with your engine. He's like, there's a real big clanging sound that I can't quite identify, and he said that it's just it's crazy. But the good thing is he works with Jasper, and Jasper's where I got my engine, or who I got my engine from, and so it's still under warranty, which is nice. And so they pay for parts and labor, so it won't cost me too much out of pocket. I think their labor reimbursement's like $75 an hour, but so it won't cost me too much more out of pocket. And I trust this mechanic. He's considered like the best mechanic in the Four Corners area over in Cortez. And so, he's like, I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that he's like, I think your engine's shot. He's like, I'd recommend we get in touch with Jasper and see what we can do. And so he works with Jasper, like I said, which is great, which will help. But it's just frustrating. It's like I don't need this right now, especially with Sierra, starting up chemo. We were supposed to start up on Thursday, and it looks like now I'm gonna have to reschedule, mainly because I'm reined in here at the ranch. The roads are real kind of bad right now, but it's just frustrating with that truck because it's like I was wanting to get back here and get a bunch of stuff done. I've got the trailer, and I can pull stuff with it and everything, and it's like that happens, and I'm just really disappointed. So. You're asking how many miles on the motor? This one has on the rebuild. It's I think it's under 40,000 on the rebuild. The rebuild came in at I put that in at 290, and I'm at like 330 now, 335. So like 45,000 on the rebuild, and the rebuild has 100,000 mile 3-year warranty. And so I'll be able, like I said, it's parts and labor and everything, so they replace it all. But I'm just frustrated because it's like, it's bad timing. I've had a bad year. Like I know I put up the front, like everything was on the up and up, but with all the health stuff, and then with Sierra getting sick and everything with that, and all the drama with the ranch and everything, it was just like, I was like, man, I'm gonna come back here and just chill. And then the truck broke down the way back. I'm like, fuck, and then now with this, it just pisses me off. I'm just like, man. So anyway, kind of in a bad mood about that. I just found that out about 15 minutes ago. So, but here at the ranch, things are going good. It's actually been really nice with the rain because everything's so green, and it's kind of cool with the contrast because it's starting to get cold at night. I mean, temperatures the other night, I woke up and it was freezing. So like Sierra's water that I left outside, her water bowl was frozen. But let me come over here. But what you doing, sweetie? We're gonna sit right here. But so the nice thing is it's like there's like the kind of the fall colors out there, and then but all the trees are super green still, and it's because of all the water that's been coming through, and it's been raining pretty good. Let's see, the other night it rained. It rained last night a little bit, and then over the weekend it rained. It rained on Saturday, which was real nice. And the storms here are awesome. It kind of reminds me of the storms in Kansas, except for they come through so fast here. It's like they'll sweep through these monsoons, and it's like lightning like crazy, you know, and like really, really thunder and stuff like that. And then it'll sweep out and it'll get sunny again, and then another storm will come through. So it's pretty awesome. So oh, somebody's asking what type of RC truck is that? That's the Traxxas TRX4. They have like different models, like different bodies for it at different times of the year. I think right now it's the Defender that they have out, but they'll have like an old school Bronco, and then they got this old Chevy K5, and I think the Defender. Yeah, I think that's it. The three of those. But it's pretty good. Um, I'm pretty pleased with it. I've done a bunch of upgrades on it. I've done about $600 in upgrades on it. The biggest upgrade, which I love, is the brushless motor. It's just amazing. I've got this app where you literally dial in like 9 different features on that motor, which is awesome. So, all right, a little update on Sierra. She's doing great. What's up, girl? What you doing? How you been? Oh, I know you're just such a good girl. She's been having fun running around here. We've just been like just relaxing and just kind of kicking it. She's been having fun. She kind of has like a little path that we do on our walks. So we'll go to here, we'll go down the road, come back up the wash, and then come back up the ridge here. And she like hangs out and has fun. And there's a couple of different places along the way. She likes to stop for potty breaks and things like that. So she's having lots of fun. And everything else with her is going good. I mean, like as far as the recovery from surgery, she's 100% recovered from that. And it's literally like the clock was dialed back a couple years, because before, she kept on getting less and less active. And I just thought, well, maybe she's just getting old and, she's just getting tired, because, she's like 8 and almost 9. So I thought, well, she's kind of getting tired, but that wasn't the case. What it was is those tumors, I think, were hurting the insides of her so much that she was having a hard time just kind of keeping up with any sort of physical activity, because she was good as long as we were chilling. But as soon as we get out and run around, she'd run a little bit and then she'd stop. And one thing I noticed too is like she'd be running along and then she'd stop and like go to the ground and just lay there. And I thought, like, what's up with that? And so, to have her come back and just be so active and stuff like that. I've got a bunch of video of us running around the ranch, and I had it to where she took us on a walk earlier. So I'm like following her with the camera all through the rock garden. It's really cool. So I look forward to sharing that with y'all, because it's really great footage, and it shows like the diversity of the property. Like, you've got like the little ridge area up here where I'm at. It's all hard packed, and it's got cool trees and some neat cactus and stuff like that. But it's got more just like the views, which is what I wanted, and also the cell phone service. But then you go down over the side there, and you go down over the back, and there's like all the lava rock and everything like that, and it totally changes. And then you go down in the meadow area, and there's like 2 washes down there that actually have water in them right now, so it's really cool to see that. So let's see. Oh, Trisha Mills, be safe in the storm. Birmingham. Oh yeah, that's cool. Y'all are getting weather out there. I'd love to go to Birmingham. I listen to Drive By Truckers, and so there's a song called Birmingham from Drive By Truckers. So, Kimberly, so we were gonna start on Thursday, but I've got to call and reschedule. I'm kind of locked in here right now with the weather. The roads out here, they get completely impassable because there's no magnesium chloride in the soil. And so what happens is when the rain hits it, it turns in like this slurry, and you literally just slide off the road. And also too, you can't really go fast or go at all. Like if you go up any slopes or go down, even with 4-wheel drive, you can't go anywhere. I've had it with my truck to where the little ridge that I go over to get into this spot, I'll go up over it, and I'll be going sideways on the trail if it's wet, because that's how like slippery the dirt gets. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Ray Anderson. Hey Brian, good to see you, buddy. Sorry about truck. Yeah, it's frustrating, man. It's like the hits just keep on coming this year, and I'm just bummed about it. It's like, I mean, I know things happen and all that stuff, but it's been one thing after another. It's like the misdiagnosis with the Giardia, and then all the health stuff after that, and then I got that over that, and then after that it was a tumor and got that removed, and then Sierra got sick, and it's like, and then truck breaks down, and it's like, and then all the drama with the ranch, taking forever to close because probate court. And it's just like, man, I could use a break. I could use like 1 month where like every week is cool, like there's no drama.
because it seems like it happens like that all the time. And I was talking to Tim from Truck House Live, and he was saying he has some of the same frustrations. Like, dude, I don't know if I'm like cursed, but it's like every month there's something major that happens. Like when his truck broke down and we were up in Crested Butte, he was saying that he's like, I get so frustrated with this. I'm like, dude, I do too. And he's like, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. I was like, nah, I was like, trust me. I was like, this year has been nuts for me. On top of COVID and all the other crazy stuff that's going on, it's like to deal with all the additional like monthly stuff, and it's not cheap stuff. It's like it's expensive. All the stuff for me was pricey, and then the stuff for Sierra obviously was paid for with GoFundMe. So I'm really fortunate for that, because it's like now with the engine, it's like okay, even though there's a little bit about it, or even though I'll probably have to pay a little bit out of pocket with the labor reimbursement, it's like I still have to figure out a car for like the next month, and I know I got to get a car that can get back in here, and the weather's starting to get kind of crazy. So it just pisses me off, to be honest. It just frustrating the hell out of me. So, but we'll see what happens with it. I'll keep everybody informed. I'm just really kind of pissed about it. It's just one thing after another. So anyway, all right. Somebody is saying email. Yeah, what's up, man? K-State. We almost got OU last week, man. I'm dark brown turnaround. That's right. Six to Chad, you got that right. But email, yeah, did we almost beat OU? And I think that I think OU benefited from a couple of nice calls. And then we also had that turnover on the first drive. But I think if we played OU again, I think we'd beat them, especially with Skylar Thompson. He's awesome. So all right, let's see here. It's been getting pretty chilly over here by Cortez. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I here at night. It's like I think tonight it's only supposed to get down like 45, so it's not supposed to be too bad. But on I think it's Thursday, it's gonna get down to 32 here, and then next Tuesday it's gonna get down to 30. And so I did order a wood stove and from Kaneko. And so I'm going to see. I actually emailed them. I haven't heard back, so let me check my email real quick. I haven't checked my email all day. See if they got back to me on this. And I'm going to be installing that here. So let's see. No, don't have any emails from them yet. But going to be installing that here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably just take out this window because it's real easy to remove these. I've got the window to put back in over there, which I'm going to do here shortly. Probably do that tomorrow. But the window over there, this would be really easy to take out. It's just a bunch of screws, and then you just remove the glass panes, and they come right out. That's pretty easy to take out. And then you just got to be careful because like the glass is still the original glass, so it's brittle. But I could do that pretty easy. And then with that one over there, you can make I can actually make my own stove jack and then order like welding cloth, because welding cloth is what they use typically for like stove jacks, especially cheap DIY ones. And what it is, it's a cloth that welders use to put over them that has it to where you can't burn yourself when you're welding. And the coated ones, the coated I can't remember the material that they are, but the coated high quality ones have a temperature rating of 1800 degrees. So what you essentially do is you have a flap that goes over like your outside. This would be facing the outside. You have a flap that goes over it. You cut a hole in the interior, and then you have this flap that goes over it like this. That kind of creates like a rain guard, if you will, over the hole. And then you just have like a 45-degree angle joint that comes out, or a horizontal joint that comes out. Then have the stovepipe go back up like that, and you're good to go. You can make that for like $20. Like, so that's one thing I was thinking about doing is I could put like a wood insert around there, like a frame, and then just Velcro that, a welding cloth on there and just have the hole through there and just have the stovepipe go out from there. And it's only a 4-inch stovepipe, so it's not that big. And it won't get that hot up at that area. Down, where the stove is and coming up, it'll be pretty warm. But once it gets up to that area, it's not going to be that bad. So I don't think I have any risk of like the heat going up and actually getting the wood so warm that it would catch like the frame on fire in the camper. So I think we'll be all right with that. So, all right, let's see. What do we got here? I have everybody's saying there, War Eagle, go Buckeyes. Let's see what else we got. Roll Tide, OU fan. That's right. Damn, Big 12 refs. Yeah, I know. Those Big 12 refs, they piss me off. Lori, I will say that, I always had a good time when I went to Kansas State with the OU fans when y'all came into town. So I just think that like I think it played out well for the Big 12. The teams we picked up, Cincinnati, BYU, who are the other ones? Boise State, or was it Boise State? I can't remember. And Houston or something like that. Those are all great teams. Cincinnati and BYU, they're like top 10 teams right now. Cincinnati, I think, is top 5. So, those are good pickups. Those are big markets too. Like BYU has an international following just because of the fan base, and then the Cincinnati area is huge, and then Houston's huge. So, and then Boise State's awesome. So I think it was Boise State that we got. That's the fourth one. But I'm real pleased with that. I feel like it's stronger because I felt like OU and Texas would always kind of hold the conference hostage, and it was lame. So it's just nice to see the conference come together with like cool teams, and it's nice to have like a uh, UCF in Houston. That's what it was. Thanks, Rob. It's nice to have like kind of like a centralized region of teams because I don't know these conference realignment. It's like they're talking about the Pac-12. I'm like Kansas State and the Pac-12. It's not a West Coast team. Like that's not geographically the way it was when I was growing up. And I liked it when I was in college. It was all these old school rivalries and stuff like that. I feel like the realignments kind of screwed some of that up because like the old Texas A&M stuff and like Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and Baylor, Texas A&M. Those were all great games, and you just don't see them that much anymore. So, but it's fun to watch the new teams go into a new conference and see how that'll play out because, OU is a good team, but it remains to be seen. The SEC is like, NFL, light. And so it's going to be tough. And I don't think Texas is going to do well over there. I mean, I think OU is much better positioned. They got to get a better quarterback though. Hopefully Rattler will be graduated by the time they're out of there because that guy he's not on the same caliber that you've had in the past. If you had the same caliber of QB that you all have had in the past, you'd be smoking everyone because your defense is great. So anyway, sorry, I got off that a little bit. So all right, that's funny going to UCF and Disney in the same weekend. Yeah, it'll be cool to go visit all those new schools. I definitely want to do that. So yeah, my new hat. This hat is so worn out. Well, the thing is, I did get a new hat. It's in my truck. I left like half of the stuff in my truck because I couldn't bring it all with me. And so when Tim from Truckhouse Life gave me a ride to Flagstaff after my truck broke down in Telluride, I just grabbed like the essentials and threw it in here. And I was looking for like different camera mounts today and all that stuff. And I hardly have anything to film with, but I'm still going around filming stuff. I'm just doing the handheld thing and like the little like tiny little tripod, not the big one because I don't know for that right now. So, but let's see here. Yeah, Lori agreed he needs to go. Yeah, I just look at him and I think he's a Division I quarterback, but not like an OU standard quarterback because the quarterbacks that you all have had, especially Kyler was it Kyler Murray that was out there? I mean, he was amazing, and now he's lighting it up in Arizona. So anyway, all right, let's see. Justin, you're talking about how you get to wear the hat. I do like to have these hats. I will hold on to it just for a while, just because I like the old school ones, and it's good to do like work around the ranch with and stuff like that. So, so cool, Martha. Hello from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We need rain here. It's still in a drought. Oh man, we've had so much rain here. It's just been amazing. Let's go outside and see if the storms are coming in here a little bit. Let's hey, real quick, I want to show you guys. So I got this lamp from BioLite, and I can't remember which one it is. Let me do this real quick. All right, let's screw it in there. But it's this lamp from BioLite, and it has a little deal here where you tells you how much it's charged. It's 11 watt hours, so it lasts for like 5 hours on high, but then like 3 days or 4 days on low. And it has like all these different lights that you can do, and then you can like shake it up and it'll like flicker like a flame and do all these crazy things. So I haven't really figured out exactly how to use it, but I'll take this and I'll put it up here at night when I'm cooking dinner. And it's cool how it like shines off the roof up here a little bit. It'll like shine off the roof a little bit and give me some of that light, that I'll need. And then underneath here, I've got another light, which is, this is the one that Happy Trails gave me. And it's nice because it's a magnet one. So I can stick it up anywhere when I'm running around here. And it's, it's easy to get light around. So, oops, put that on the wrong one here. Let me show you. For those that are just tuning in, I got a new battery station here, so I'm going to put it right here while I put on my shoes. That's the AC 200P from Blue Eddy, and I'll put the link up in the video description when we're done with this. But it's a really nice battery. It's 2,000 watt hours, which is basically 2 kilowatt hours of power. What I really like about it is that the solar that I have coming into here, I can put 700 watts of solar into it at one time. And so I'm using these panels right here, these Blue Eddy panels. These things are pretty awesome. Whoops. They're 120 watts a piece. And then I've got a few other panels too out there. I was able to put in like 460 watts of power, but these fold open. They're real lightweight, but durable. And so I look forward to doing some reviews on those and kind of seeing how they'll work out long-term out here. Because I do like the fact that they're so easy to pack up. as opposed to like the suitcase ones that I have from Renogy that just take forever to pack up. Those are nice because they're heavy and like they'll do well in high winds because they won't blow away. So you want to go outside? Come on, you want to come outside? Come here, come on. You want to come outside? I guess she doesn't want to come outside, but they'll do well in high wind. And so I'm gonna see how these do. I don't know what's going on with this weather. I guess maybe I don't know if it's coming or not. It doesn't look like it. It's like it's sunny over here now. So I don't know what's going on. Or maybe the forecast completely missed it. Oh, we do have something that's coming in right here. So maybe that's what was supposed to be coming in. But we'll have to see. So all right, let's see what we have for comments here. Let's see. Hello from Europe. Hey, hello back to you. That's awesome. You should make yourself go by just in case your truck breaks down. Yeah, I should. Well, and I was just on my way back here, and I was so excited to get back, and was looking forward to hanging out and working on the ranch and getting everything done. And then that breaks down. I'm just like, man, just like the hits just keep on coming, and it's frustrating too because like car rental companies out here, it's weird. They're so worried about rental cars being taken to Mexico. When I try to rent anything long term, I have to like sweet talk them into like renting for a week, and they won't re up for another week. So I have to like keep changing different rental car companies. Right now, I've got the U-Haul because I've been hauling stuff from my storage unit, but it's just like I don't know what I'm going to do after that because I have to try to figure out another company to use, or maybe see if I contact some friends and see if I could get them to let me borrow one of their trucks or something like that. But I don't know. There'll be something else next month, something with everything. Let's go back inside here. I'll answer some questions and we'll just kind of hang out and relax because I've kind of had a long day and I'm kind of frustrated right now with all that stuff. I'll be doing a review on that battery, and what I'll do is my review. I've seen a lot of reviews on that AC 200 before. And they're all about like technical reviews. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a real application review of what it's like to run different stuff out here with it, and give you like real life scenarios. Like, hey, I'm going to build this wood shed, for to store my firewood, and I'm gonna power it with all the solar that I generate from this, and that's what I'm going to use to power my power tools, stuff like that. And also give you an idea of like the fridge that I have, the Dometic 65. That's a big fridge and it pulls more power obviously than the smaller one I have for my truck. And so I think that showing how much power, like if full power, if you're socked in with rain for like 4 days, no solar whatsoever, how can you get by, and how much power can you run, and all that stuff. And so that's going to be like what the review is about, because if you look online, I mean, you could go on like Hobotech or like Will Prowse, he does a lot of reviews. I think he's done like probably 10 reviews on the AC 200p. And so all of those are like technical reviews and then talking about, how much power it's pulling in, all that stuff. And while that's awesome information, I feel like it's been covered in depth, and that the like showing it actually out in the field here and what it does, I think would be a better video. So, all right, let's see here. Shell loves playing it. You've been watching the Chiefs on Sundays. Yeah, and it's been frustrating to watch the Chiefs. I mean, it's last week was obviously good with Mahomes throwing 5 touchdowns, but the previous 2 games, that was frustrating to watch. So hopefully we get our defense going, but it's been late. They've not been playing well. So I'm pretty frustrated with that. So Paul, you're asking where I'm at. I'm at my ranch. I'm currently in my camper right now. So this is my 1971 Yellowstone vintage camper, and it's been redone a little bit. So I got a tin roof in here, which is real nice, and like these nice fake walls. This is nice fake barnwood. It looks pretty classy. So yeah, Lori, a little bit frustrated with Chiefs. I am as well. It's kind of crazy. Not to give up on 300K. Yeah, let's see. So Joe, let's see. No, I don't know. Like I've thought about that, about giving up on the truck and getting a new style truck. The problem with the new style Toyotas, they're so expensive, and I can't see spending like 50 grand for a mid-sized truck. I would like to get that old K5 with like a drop-in, camper. So if I can find one of those at a reasonable price, I'll probably pick one of those up, because I'd like to have a bigger truck. I mean, full size would be nice for me and Sierra. Be awesome if she could be up in the front seat with me. So if we get a little K5 that has the drop-in camper in the back, she can sit up front with me. We could, make the pass through. That way we wouldn't have to get out if the weather's bad, and just kind of more slow roll it, and I definitely do a lot with the suspension and make it to where it's trail worthy. But some of the trails I go on, like that waterfall trail, I wouldn't be able to get there with a full size, I don't think. I mean, all the only trucks, the only vehicles I saw back there were motorcycles, ATVs, and mid-size, like small mid-size trucks. because there's one section where you're going along, and then there's the river down here, and there's like a drop off that's probably about 35, 40 feet, and you would just roll straight off and just land straight on the, roll over and just you'd be done. But it goes like this, and then there's a creek that comes down, and there's a section where it V's out like this, like the trail is going by and it V's out, and you have to like go down in that, and you would totally fall over if you had a full size vehicle, because you can barely get by with a mid size. Like I was kind of stressed getting by there. So I mean, I would like to do. I mean, obviously the new truck's awesome. I'd love to get a new Ram. The mechanic that I go to in Salida, Brad's Automotive, he's awesome. By the way, his team they got Sierra this little dog treat, or this little dog toy thing when she got done with her surgery, because we were getting my brakes done out there, and so it was so cool. We got back in the truck and they had this in there along with a card waiting for, which I thought was the coolest thing. And it was like made out to Sierra. It was like, hope you're feeling better, hope you get well. We love seeing you online and stuff like that. And it was signed by all the teams. That was real nice of them. But I can't remember what I was saying there. I was talking about Brad's Automotive and being in Salida. But anyway, it was just with the truck. I would like to get something new. Oh, Brad has one of the new Rams, and I was like, and it's totally tricked out. Like it's incredible what he's done with this thing. But I was asking him, I'm like, dude, how much is one of those? And he told me, I was like, I'm not spending that much on a truck. And so I'll probably just go with something, old school, and probably not push it as hard either. With having the ranch, it's kind of nice because I can come back here and chill and not be on the road all the time. Because when I was truck camping, I was thinking about this the other day. Like I remember talking to some friends and well, actually, I remember I was talking with Baron, and we were talking about nomad life, and he was like, "Man, this is so easy." And I thought, what am I doing wrong? This is hard for me. Like physically, I'm exhausted doing this. I love it, but I'm exhausted doing it. And I thought, oh, the difference is that he's in a camper and I'm in a truck. Like, I've chilled with him, and I love hanging out with he and Elsa, and they had the luxury with their camper to go inside and sit down. To whereas with my truck, I was either laying down in the bed of the truck or I was standing outside. Like I very rarely was sitting down. And so I think that's also too why I got so skinny. I was on my feet constantly, and then the health issues, that I had. But that was the difference with it. And so now that I've got a place to like chill out, like I feel like I won't put as much wear and tear on a vehicle, and so I can also tinker it with it back here too. And the nice thing about the older trucks is you can kind of work on them yourself, whereas the new ones you have to have like every computer on the planet, and I don't have the capability for that. But I don't know. It's just frustrating with that truck because I do like it. I mean, it's awesome the way it's built out, and it's nimble. I don't really care about the paint. I've got so much like backcountry road striping on it. It's fine, and um, the interior of it is messed up, and that's fine because it's dirty, and we're coming like Sierra's jumping in and out, being dirty and stuff like that. So like it works for what we want to do. But I think also going forward, with Sierra doing chemo and stuff like that, she's going to be probably a little less active. And she's going to need a little more space to stretch out. And there was one of these trucks available in Crested Butte. I just didn't write down the number when I was rolling through there, so I should have written down that number. But we'll see what I can come up with. I'm going to start looking for one and maybe put the word out, and say, hey, I've been interested in like a K5 that has a drop-in, a four-wheel camper in the back. But I don't know. We'll see what we can get. The crappy thing is right now everything's super expensive because you can't get anything. So I'd be paying a premium for whatever I get, which would be kind of a pain in the ass. But it's all good. So let's see here. Now let's see. That's a good one that you were talking about there, Kevin. Let me put this up. Um, let's see. Kevin was asking, but any chance that you'll do some cast iron videos? And actually, yeah, I was actually thinking about that today because I got a new sandwich that I'm doing. I've got some friends that are making some bread that I can eat that doesn't really bother me, and so I'm making these really awesome toasted sandwiches with them, and I wanted to show everybody that. So I just need to start filming more here. The problem is I don't have the stuff to film with because I don't have like the normal mounts that I would usually have with my GoPro, and same with my Canon. It just went out of juice, and I don't have my charger with me. And so all that stuff is back in my truck. And now with my truck, being out of commission now for much longer than I anticipated, probably like at least another month, I probably won't get that stuff back. I also have to buy like new mounts and everything. But once I should be getting a wood stove in here sometime this week, hopefully, depending on how the shipments come in with the roads being the way with the roads being the way they are. And so, once that comes in, that'll be great because I'll be definitely doing some cast iron cooking in here, and it's easy to do the cast iron cooking on the propane. It's no problem with that. It's just more fun to do it on the wood stove. So I've got one wood stove coming in the mail, and then I've got another one in storage up in Flagstaff. So I'll bring both those back here, and I want to start building another like kind of like a place to like work on stuff, kind of like a tool shed, and then I'd put a wood stove in there as well. That way I can work on there in the wintertime and kind of get things done and just have a place to like, if I'm working on projects or stuff that I don't want to store in here, I can store it out there and different supplies and things of that nature. Maybe even put a generator out there and just close it to where it's not very loud or anything. So, all right, let me take this down. So that's a good question, Kevin. Let's see here. Um, yeah, Gary saying what you do is not easy, it's a lot of work, and that's true. That's one thing that like I think I got used to being tired, and I've had allergies really bad my whole life, so I'm kind of used to like suffering with the allergies because it hits me every day and it messes with my sleep every night and all that stuff. And I always feel like I'm about 5% behind on my breath, but I think I just operated at exhaustion for so long that I got used to it, and then now that I've got a like this camper to hang out in and a place to kind of sit down, I can sit down fully in here and it's not a pain. I realized how tired I was, and I think I was running myself on the ground. And so it's nice to now have a place to chill out and just relax. And truck camping is awesome. I mean, I swear by it because you're able to get away from the crowds, and that's my main goal when I'm out there is just to get away from everybody and just have like this peace and solitude and all that stuff. But the cool thing is I've got the peace and solitude here. Like no one's driving by. It's awesome. So I love the anonymity out here, just I don't hear any neighbors ever. I mean, I had some neighbors over here this weekend that were doing some target practice, but that's only for a little bit out of the weekend, so it's no big deal. And there's just nobody driving by. There's no reason for anybody to come out here, and so that's nice to have that, and to have that just that buffer from civilization. Then I can go into town at my leisure on the days when I know the towns aren't busy, because like Flagstaff is busy on the weekend, and same with Prescott, but during the weekdays it's fine. So go in during then and get all my stuff done and come back. And it was kind of cool. Like when I left to go to Colorado, I left and I didn't have to take everything with me. It's like I left there. I'm like, it's nice to travel light, and not have all my stuff. And so, doing it out of a mid-sized truck is definitely was challenging, but it got me to some of the most remote, spectacular locations where I didn't see anybody else. And it's like, I started hitting those places in 2015 when I hit the road, and I'll still go there to this day, and I still won't see people. So I've still got spots like that that I've discovered, and that's just from driving 4x4 trails, endlessly for years. And so I've been able to find some really cool spots, which is really great. So all right, let's see here. Somebody's asking how many acres of land I have. I have just under 20 acres. Let's see. All right, hope you're doing well. Thank you, Lori. Let's see. Camping out. This is a good question. So it says, well, will I get another four dog stove? I don't think I'm going to get another four dog stove at the moment, just because I don't have a need for like such a big bulletproof stove. The stoves that I want in here need to be a little bit smaller, and the smallest stove that four dog stove has is the stove that I have, the DX model, which is they're considered the three dog stove. It's a smaller one. So they have some titanium ones which you can get, but they kick out a ton of heat, and they're more for like the tents that have a little bit more of an open like not so much insulation, like a camper. So that's why I'm going to go with the smaller stove. But then with the new tent that I want to buy, I'm kind of holding off on that at the moment because I wanted to see what's going on with my truck. Excuse me, I got a little bit of indigestion at the moment. But I'm still going to go through with that probably by the end of this month, just to kind of see what my finances look like, and then also too with Sierra's chemo stuff. But I would use the four dog stove in that in whatever wall tent that I get. So and I've got a backpacking stove too. So I'll have a total of four stoves, and then like one stove that's kind of more of an outdoor stove that I'm just going to make in an outdoor fireplace. I'll have five stoves. So the goal is around here is kind of just make some cool little areas to hang out in, make them a little bit more in discreet areas. Because where I'm at up on this ridge area, when somebody comes down the ridge, they can see me down here, and it's not. I mean, there's like four people that live up there, so it's no big deal. But I just would like to have a little bit more privacy, and I also too for them like driving down the ridge, they've never seen anything down here, and then all of a sudden they see this camper. It's got to be kind of lame for them. So I'd like to go back down the backside a little bit, and then over by the state property, there's a great wash that's back in there, and there's a lot of animal tracks in there. It's like all day long, there's animals rolling through there, and I always notice Sierra's like looking down in those areas because she's hearing animals and things like that and sensing they're there. And so I think that's having something down there would be pretty cool for animal watching. So, not planning on another four dog stove at the moment, but if I get like another wall tent, and I want to put it up here, and I want to have two wall tents, then I would get a four dog stove for that for sure. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Diane, you were up here. Somebody said something about Diane, and I'm seeing Diane. None of us are as young as we used to be. That's true. That's 100%. Let's see. So Dun Owen, you're asking what's the elevation here at dog camp number one. So this elevation here. Oh, look at little Sierra. She's over here just sleeping. She's all tuckered out. We ran around today all day, and so I think she's pretty tired from running around on the trails around here. But the elevation out here is right at 6,000 feet, and so it's great. I mean, I love the elevation; it's nice and cool. The nearest town that's here, like when I look at the weather report, it's always about 5 to 10 degrees cooler up here, so it's pretty nice. All right, let me take this down. Let's see what else have we got here. Oh, Kathleen, thank you so much for that super chat. Let's see, what is it? Is there a message with that? No, there is not. Okay, see, you got the heart there. I bet there's that's for little Sierra there. What you got, sweet girl? Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you, Stinker. You're just the best girl ever. She's been a little cuddle bug in the morning. We'll wake up and it's about 5 a.m. when I like to get up, and she'll like cuddle right up to me over here and doesn't want the covers to come out, and then I'll get the covers out and we'll go out and get our day started. So Elizabeth, yeah, 5 stoves. I know I'm like hoarding stoves or something, it's crazy. So wandering weeders. Hello from North Carolina, Arizona Daydreaming. Hello back at you. Let's see. The bud. Any good wildlife stories from the trail? Just lots of like moose, lots of bear, deer. I saw a mountain lion once. It was about 30 feet from me, and that freaked me out. That thing was like that was a big cat with a huge stove type tail, just this massive tail that was like the size of its body, and it had huge muscles. You could see it. I mean, it was like standing there like this, and you could see like the like Hulk Hogan muscles. It was like wild. I was looking at that thing, and it just looked at me with like these, it was just these blank eyes, and it was like crouched to the side like that, and looking at me, and it was kind of just like frozen. And then it took one step and jumped up like a 13 or like a 15-foot cliff and like ran off. And I was just like, holy cow. I mean, it was crazy. So, and then the bear, I saw six bears in one day in Crested Butte on the same trail. So that was kind of crazy. So, all right. So treats for Sierra. Okay, Kathleen, that's what we'll do. We'll do treats for Sierra with that. So, we had some treats. We have these dehydrated chicken heads, which she really likes, but they look kind of gross. So I won't pleasure the crowd by having her making y'all watch one of those. So let's see what else have we got here. Let's see. So this is a good question. I don't think tornadoes come out here, but what plans do I have in case tornado hits or something else like that? Basically, what's out here is just the monsoons, and so I have to make sure that I don't have too much in the way of like tarps out, because the tarps will rip. And the tarp that I have back here is completely shredded. Same with like different stuff that I build. I have to make sure that it's wind worthy, because the wind just gets crazy out here. It whips up. But I don't think there's any tornadoes up in this area. There's wind devils that are down in like dust devils that can get pretty gnarly, like pretty much like F1 tornado speeds. So like 75, 80 miles an hour winds, like spinning around, pick up stuff. But I don't think they get like F5 tornadoes out here or anything like that. Not like they do in Kansas. So I don't have any plans for that. But just like when I build stuff to make sure it's really, really strong. And same with like the tent too. I'll probably have to put in like a tent platform, and then you use guy lines to really tie that off to the ground, and probably secure those guy lines in concrete. Because with the winds out here, like I've been out here in the wintertime staying at my friend's place that are down in the valley, and man, it gets really windy. So we'll have to see how that works. So, all right, let's see here. What else have we got? Flash floods. Yeah. The good thing is that up here, so where I'm at, this is like a ridge area. This is like 50 to 75 feet higher than like the areas down where all the water floods. And so I'm in good shape up here. And that's why I wanted this place. Was I was like, I can get up on this property. And it's nice because like even when it rains, I can get in and out of here no problem. The only area up here where it gets muddy is where I disturbed it to make that trail to go back in there a little bit more. And so what I need to do over there is just put a bunch of rock down on the ground. I'll be in good shape. But over here where this is at, this doesn't get muddy, which is really great for Sierra. So when it gets really rainy out, she can still run out, do her thing, kind of run around a little bit, find a place to use the restroom, and come back in. And her paws aren't completely socked in with that really soupy mud. Because if you go down like the lower section, like right up here right now, it's perfectly dry up in the land around here to walk around. You go in the lower section, and your feet will sink in like that much mud. And so what happens is that's why I was saying like earlier, the roads around here, the roads attract all that water. The water settles down the roads because all those are cut into the ground out here, and so the roads get really bad. So you have to just wait for the roads to dry out. Luckily, it seems like it's going to be sunny tomorrow, and then also a little bit on Thursday before the rains hit. So that's good. But I think by the weekend, we'll be socked in again. So all right, let's see here. It's Cody Bacon, you stink. We're not in Kansas anymore, Sierra. Yeah, no kidding. But she does like the storms. It's just the lightning kind of freaks her out, like that. And then like when the people were doing the target practice, that kind of freaks her out too. So let's see here. What's broken in my truck? I don't know exactly. The mechanic that looked at it, he was saying that it was throwing all sorts of different codes. He said he wasn't quite able to determine where the big clanging noise was coming from, but he feels like it's mechanically starting to break down on the interior. And he said that he's like, hey, I work with Jasper. I've got a great relationship with him. He's like, if you've still got the warranty on that, which I have in the cab of the truck, I told him, I said, just check the cab. The Jasper stuff should be in there. It would be good to go. He goes, if that's the case, he goes, I can get you a new engine and we get it installed. And this guy's like known as like the mechanic in the Four Corners area over in Cortez. And so I trust him. And mechanics that have like all these reviews and it's almost a 5-star, but there's like hundreds of reviews. You're like, okay, that's a good mechanic. And everybody around there too. I call these other mechanics like, hey, go to that guy. He can figure it out. And so it's just frustrating. The timing of it's bad. It's like all the way out here, and it's just more expenses with rental cars and crap like that. And it's just frustrating. It's like I'd rather spend the money on stuff for the ranch, like getting a septic system and drilling a well, things like that. Not have to just spend it on just trying to catch up or just keep up with all these expenses that just keep happening. So, and Sierra's chemo is going to be expensive. That's considered about 8,000 for this round. So we'll see how that goes. So lots of expenses coming up again. So we'll see how things work out. I want to have like a good truck to do winter camping. So if there's not like if I don't have a good vehicle to go out to Colorado, I probably won't do winter camping because I don't want to get stuck out there, a bunch or be broken down out in the winter. I've done that. I've only had that once, but I was able to get my truck to like an area to where I could get it towed. So I got it to like a paved area, and then I was able to get it out. But I don't know. I'm just frustrated with it. It's just frustrating. So, all right, let's see here. Fight for Freedom new engine would be great. Yeah, I'd be stoked with that. What app do you use that to listen to Bucket? I don't, Ray. Actually, I was listening to them on Bandcamp because that's where I buy all this stuff from Buckethead because he puts out new stuff all the time, and it's amazing the amount of the volume of music that guy puts out is unreal. But if you go to Bandcamp, he puts all of his stuff on there. And when COVID first hit, it was kind of awesome. He was putting out stuff all the time. He's like, "Oh, I'm just in my house, like jamming. I might as well put out new tunes." And I have I think there's about 300 albums that I've purchased from him. He has over 400 now, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But I have like 313 or something like that. It's pretty much the entire Pikes album or Pikes collection, which was from like 2015 to like 2020. And it's amazing. There's some stuff in there that's just garbage, but there's some stuff that's incredible. So again, I keep finding new stuff all the time. I downloaded it 2 years ago, and I'm like, I know this time, I'm like, oh my god, it's an amazing jam. How come I didn't know about that one? So go to like Bandcamp, and that's what I have. And then there is an app that you could use to listen to it through Bandcamp. You can download it all. It has all your music in there and everything. So it's kind of cool. And the nice because like the funds go directly to the artist, and so you don't have to worry about like a record company taking out a bunch of stuff. So maybe look at all that bacon. Howdy, Brian and Sierra. Hey, what's up, man? We're looking at Williams. Can't wait. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Williams is an awesome area. That's close to Flagstaff. The nice thing about Williams is they have those huge ponderosa pines everywhere, and so lots of good stuff out there. That town has a lot of amenities too, as far as like stocking up on stuff, and it's kind of like a lot of people out there in that area live off grid, and then you have great access to the south of like especially the southeast of there, all that stuff. That's like, what would that be? Sycamore Canyon area, I guess. Like really great terrain. Really great terrain. You can get lost back in there for a long time, which is great. They've got lakes back in there with trout and stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Williams is a great area. All right. Yeah, fight for freedom. I'm gonna stick around until my truck's definitely ready to go. So just popped in. Okay, so hey Meryl, how you doing? What's going on? All right, so I want to put this up. So Meryl, I was asking about Sierra and how she's doing. She hasn't started chemo yet. She was gonna start chemo on Thursday, but we're kind of socked in with rain out here, and so The problem is the roads are impassable when the rain gets like this. And I've only got a two-wheel drive van right now, and getting up this little ridge to go over to the main road to get out of here, we couldn't do it right now. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be a little bit sunny tomorrow and then rain again on Thursday. So we're gonna call and reschedule to next week. But she's doing great. I mean, ever since surgery, it's like she's totally bounced back. She's like got the energy levels of a couple years ago. So it's really great to see her doing well, and I can tell that she feels good. And she's not eating grass all the time. She was eating grass before because her abdomen just felt really bad with all those tumors in there. But now it's to the point to where she runs around. She's not eating grass. She's having fun. Just follows me around the property. And we did a walk through the property earlier where I just had her take us through the rock garden. It was about a 4-minute video, so I'm gonna have that posted up soon so y'all can see that. So, but yeah, she's doing great. I've been doing okay. I'm still dealing with all this autoimmune disease stuff, but I haven't been sleeping much as of late. Like pretty much just like an hour a night for the past week or two. It's been frustrating, and it's like I keep eliminating stuff from my diet and keep going on the food map stuff, and it just keeps on, just keeps, I keep finding stuff that hits me up. So it's just frustrating. So let's see here. Mario, thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Well, I hope your channel goes viral to pay for serious treatments and new truck. Any thoughts on CU football getting shut out last week? Oh yeah, boy, I'd say CU football. They're in a world of hurt. When I was going to college, CU was a powerhouse. They had Rashawn Salaam as a running back, and I think Cordell Stewart. Gosh, was he the quarterback when I was? I think Cordell Stewart was a quarterback when I was in college there. And those teams were unstoppable. And then to see them fall so much now, it's just sad to see it. But like any program, it kind of comes and goes. So, but yeah, they're good. Channel's been doing great. And what's been really nice is that if you look at my videos, they've not been getting a ton of views or nothing like that, but all my old videos are getting a ton of views, and so that's really been great. It's just been able to help me save up some money and stockpile some cash for Sierra's stuff coming up. I mean, I've got that 8,000 set aside for her treatment, which was from the GoFundMe, but I've got other funds set aside too. For stuff I want to do around the ranch. I mean, I'm planning to do things, and just these expenses that keep coming up with like the truck, and then my own stuff and everything. It gets old. But I'm trying to keep a positive outlook with it, just keep it in perspective. At least I can, deal with the frustrations out here, which is much better than having to deal with it in the city. It doesn't seem like any of this rain is going to hit. We've got a little bit more cloud cover that just hit, but I don't think we're going to get any rain. So it was a false alarm on the monsoon here. So I apologize for that. I was kind of hoping we get like really clobber. We got a really good rainstorm in the middle of the night last night that woke us up, and it was cool. It was the hailing and stuff, and just kind of rocking the camper a little bit. So it was fun to have that. But yeah, so the channel's doing good though. I really am pleased with that. It's fun to log on and see which videos people are liking. I mean, the main one, of course, is the one that I did last. I think it was last December with my friends. My friends that visited camp, and it was the one that has the 5 million views. Like that's crazy. That one is just taken off the way it has. But a lot of the other old winter camping stuff went off, especially when was really hot out. So I'd log on. I'm like, this is nuts. Like I'd see the channel just spike, with tons of traffic, and it was just from all those old videos. So for those that are doing YouTube out there, like what I say is just keep posting. Like just keep posting videos, and eventually if you've got some quality content and some unique experience and also some good storytelling, I think that's really important. Not to get on and blab, but to get on and tell enough to where you can tell the story. And a lot of it too is we're using imagery to do it. If you can do that, eventually something might pop and you can make it happen. So, Marie, I love the one with Timmy and the Dodge Mahal. Yeah, yeah. Timmy's awesome, a guy to hang out with, and I was really pleased to meet him. I felt bad that he had all those truck problems, and then in turn I had them. But it was nice that he was in the area to give me a ride here. So I can come back to Arizona instead of just floundering in Colorado. And I'm really glad to be back here now, especially with the news we got with the truck. So, hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what goes on with that thing, but it's just frustrating. So come visit North Idaho sometime. John Hancock. Yeah, I'd love to. I was actually looking at a hot springs property up in northern Idaho. I was like, man, I need to make a lot more money on YouTube to be able to afford that. But what I would like to do, the next thing that I would like to do is save up money to buy a property either near a hot spring or has its own hot spring. And there's a couple websites where you can go to look for that stuff, but they're pretty pricey. So we'll see. But we'll you know I definitely want to have that. That'd be nice to have. I probably would never leave, you know. So, so Elias, thanks for saying that. I love the winter camping stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, I like that too, and that's actually my most fun that I have filming because it's like I'm still trying to figure out how to film here. You know, it's a little bit different doing it in a camper, and it's fun around the ranch. But I'm also busy just doing a lot of stuff, and I kind of forget to film a little bit. But in the winter tent, it's great because you're kind of hunkered down in there. You're in the tent all day, so it's easy to set up the camera and film stuff throughout the day and make the videos. And then you've got the time at night because the sun goes down at 5 p.m. And so you've got kind of a long evening, and it's good to occupy your time with like editing or something like that. And then I love cooking over the wood stove. It kind of be fun to live in a cold weather environment year round and do something like that. And for next winter, I do have the possibility of possibly doing some winter caretaking in Colorado, and it'd be an area to where there's no motorized vehicles allowed, and so I'd have to snowshoe in and snowshoe out for groceries, and then Sierra can stay with me in there. There's really good Wi-Fi that they've installed, and so I can stay in touch with people and all that stuff. And I would just do like live stream after live stream out there and show you what it's like to be in this area. There's also a mountain that's right next door to it, to where there have all these avalanches that come down, so I can film that from the area. So I'm going to put in my application probably this spring and see if I can get that caretaking. It's for 6 months for next winter, which would be awesome. So this area gets a ton of snow, so it'd be pretty cool to do that. So all right, let's see what else have we got here. Let me see. Mary, I'm on the road and want to start making content, but I'm hesitant to start. Oh, this is actually a good thing to talk about for those that are on the road. Um, so a while back, I was filming a documentary with a filmmaker, but it never came to light. He opted not to edit it for some reason. We all were like, What's up with that?" But one thing I learned from him is we'd be out filming. I'm like, "What are we gonna film today?" He's like, "We'll just turn the camera on." And I was like, "Well, should we have a premise?" Like, he's like, "Just go about your day." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "The story will tell itself." And I'm like, "Oh, I never thought about that." That was one of the main things that I learned was that you know, if you are out there and if you turn the camera on and just film throughout your day, there's going to be something that happens and you can build a story around it. Now, the story might be that it's just kind of a down day and it's kind of a lazy day. But a story might also be that you're rolling along and next thing you know, you capture lightning on film that starts a fire or something like that. That's pretty cool. Or you're hanging out next to a river and it's just showing that river life and what your day would be like just chilling there. And I think what it is that most people, when they message me, they're like I'll put up a video that I think is awesome and I won't do anything. Then I'll put up a video about like me cooking breakfast in my winter tent or shoveling snow off the tent or just some chores. Like it's literally just camp chores and it will go crazy. So I'm like, oh, okay. People want to just see what it's like to function out here and what it's like to operate. So what I recommend is that if you're going to create content, turn the camera on, see what you get throughout the day. You might not get anything. There are days where I film a ton of stuff and I'm like, well, I have like 5 minutes of usable content out of like 2 hours, so it takes a long time to edit. But there's also times where I'll film and like within 30 minutes I'll have my story, which is great. And lots of times like the story is the lifestyle. You don't have to think of like, okay, this is what I need to talk about in this video. Because I used to stress out about that. I used to do just content videos and I ran out of content because I was like, it was all about how-to stuff, like how to truck camp and how to set up the winter tent, how to work a wood stove. Well, after I do those videos, it's like they've been done. I don't need to cover them again. And I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about. And then I started talking just about my life, and that took off. And so I think that a lot of people are attracted to the lifestyle aspect of it, and just how do you operate out here? And I would recommend not looking at other channels and trying to copy them. I have a guy that actually copies me. I won't say his name because I don't want to call him out, but it's just annoying to go to his channel and see like, oh, he's naming his videos the same way he names mine. He has a pop out extension just on his truck, just like mine. He has winter camping just like mine. And it's just like, dude, you're not going to be successful with that. You got to do your own thing. So I would recommend be authentic, learn how to edit, get good editing software. Because I use Final Cut Pro, and I really like that one. And there's a bunch of videos on YouTube on how to like use the different editing software. So learn that, and that if you put out good videos and have like good music with it, and don't talk too much. Like don't get into video and just talk much. Like these live streams are different. Live streams obviously you talk. You don't just want to sit here. But the videos I'd recommend not talking a bunch because people don't want to listen to people just blabbing. And that's one thing I had to learn kind of the hard way. If you go to my old videos, I was just talking nonstop because it's all how-to stuff. But now my new stuff, I'll do an entire video where I won't talk. And it's nice to do that because it's like, okay, it actually challenges me to like pay special attention to what I'm filming so that I can tell the story through imagery. because essentially you're a storyteller. You're just using imagery to do it. Now, other people do story through everything. People do story through Instagram. People do story through blogs. You can do story through video. It just takes a little bit of effort and it takes time to get your editing down. But if you invest in it, it'll pay off. And the way I look at it with YouTube is that if you keep posting more videos, it's like a library of videos. If you have a library of books that you're selling online, you'll make a hell of a lot more money than if you just have one book for sale. And same with YouTube. If you have 400 videos about winter camping on there, or camping in general, probably a couple will take off, you know, and then that's going to pay a lot more than if you just had 10 videos. And so I'd also say too, one thing that I learned is like I always listened and I still listen to Joe Rogan, but I also have other podcasts to listen to now. But when I first hit the road, it was specifically listening to Joe Rogan and all that stuff. Cause like most of the messages that he was saying during that time, like 2015, 2016 was like, just keep going. Like whatever you're doing in life, just keep going with it and just keep plugging one for another and don't give up. And I was like, okay, well, I got to keep doing this. Cause a lot of times I thought about giving up. And gosh, where was I going to go with that? I can't remember what I was going to say. The thing that he said was one of his podcasts was he's like, I wanted to condition people to listening to my podcast, so I just kept putting them out as fast as I could. He's like, they weren't the best quality when I first got going. He's like, but I just got people used to listening to me, and I adopted that mindset in 2018 with my channel. And if you look before that, I was just posting like once a week. Then I started posting like every other day or every third day. Then in the wintertime, I'll try to post a lot because I want people to get used to watching my channel. Because like when they log into YouTube, it's like, oh, hey, there's a new video from Brian. They log into YouTube again. Oh, another new video from Brian. You get them used to that, and people will tune in. I will say that like it took 4 years for my videos to really start taking off, and so it's a long game. And unless you have something like Phil's Dodge Mahal that he had right out of the gate, that was a great attention grabber and helped him build his channel like that. Tim with Truck House Life, he got 70,000 subs in the first year. That's amazing. I got 5,000 subs in my first year. So those guys, I mean, Phil had like 100,000 subs in his first year. That's crazy. That doesn't normally happen. So it's usually a slow build up and then it hits, something will happen and it takes off. What happened for me is that Outside Magazine picked up one of my videos and that was the first one that actually went viral. And I thought, oh, okay, so that's how you make money on here. So I just kept on kicking out more and more content. And then I was looking for unique experiences. And I was like, okay, let me try to tell a story of a unique experience that maybe somebody wouldn't have the opportunity to, you know, go experience. And so maybe I can show them a window into that life. And so that's been my mindset. And also too, like kind of keeping the language to a minimum, keeping it friendly for everybody. I don't like to get into politics or religion or anything like that because I feel like those are big dividers. And so stay away from all that content. Just keep it lighthearted, especially these days with all the crap that people are going through. Keep things lighthearted. And I think, as long as you tell good stories and you got good stuff, people will tune in. Show your friends and stuff at first and ask them too. Say, hey, give me honest feedback. Do you think it's worth it? Yeah, do you think it's worth watching? And if they say no, then go back and figure out what you did wrong. And I like to actually, one thing that I think is kind of fun is to put a video together of shots that I've taken that don't necessarily match up chronologically, but I can make them work in a video. That I feel like I'm like a wizard when that happens, so that's kind of fun. But that's some information, just some suggestions that I would have on content creation. So, all right, let's see what else have we got here. Um, do you track where your followers are? Are you gaining international audience? See it positively, Andrea. I don't really ever look at it. I don't look at the audience as far as the demographics that far. What I'll do is I'll tune in. I'll look and see when everybody's tuning in, because in the YouTube studio, when you click on the analytics, there's a button up there or like a little text thing you can click on called audience. And if you click on that, it'll show you like a calendar throughout the entire week, and it'll show you a bar for each hour. And that bar will be color coded as far as how many people are tuning in. And then that's when you realize you're like, oh, that's when I should be posting my stuff. And so typically the weekends obviously are the most. During the wintertime, it ticks up the most because people are indoors. The summertime, the traffic wanes, it goes down just because people are outside. Anything that's winter related seems to go off like crazy. So if you can get in some good winter conditions and make it authentic and not make it bad. I mean, it'd be kind of fun to make one that's like making fun of winter camping, because there's a lot of people out there. Like, I don't mean to call people out by saying this, but like when I see a winter camping video and a girl's in a bikini every time, I'm like, you're not in a bikini winter camping. Like, you're just doing it for clicks. And I click on those, so I'm not bitching about it, but it's just funny to see it. Like, there's another girl I follow and she does great content, but like every single thumbnail is her in a bikini. I'm like, I know you're not truck camping in a bikini in every single, hour of the day. So it's kind of funny with that stuff. But as far as like, making it authentic, I think for guys, if you're gonna come out here and make that content, just show what it's like to winter camp and stuff like that. And for the women that do it, I get mad respect for them that are doing like the bushcraft stuff. There's some women that have some amazing channels. And I do want to put together a list and put that up in the comment section or the community section of my page that goes through like every single channel that I think all should follow, because there's some amazing ones out there. So, but no, I'm not tracking the audience. I probably will look at that and see. I remember one time I did look on. There was one person that was tuned in from the Republic of North Korea. So I was wondering if Kim Jong Un was tuning into my stuff, which I thought was kind of funny. But I haven't looked at those specific demographics in a long time, and I don't look at the CPM either. What I try to do is I just try to focus on telling the story in the way in my mind that is presented the best way, because there's bad times out here, and I try to show those too. But generally speaking, I try to show the positive moments. And I think there's ways to show it that like Sierra being happy, in the morning, and like the coffee brewing and like the steam coming out of, like, everybody can relate to getting their mornings are like, oh hey, the dog's in a good mood and you're getting your coffee going. Like people want to have those mornings, and so showing what that morning is like out here as opposed to what it's like normally, and having a house or whatever, that's where I think you can get ahead with showing this information. So all right, but I would say don't bet on that. Like, don't bet on YouTube hitting, because it's such a long game, and I'm just lucky that it hit for me, to be honest. So I think that if you're coming out here, do it for the love of doing it, and do it for the love of sharing the information, and sharing, like, where you're camping and stuff like that, but not sharing specifically where you're camping, but just sharing the experience. And I think that I think that you'll be successful with that. So, but like I said, it not guaranteed to take off. So. That's funny. So, though said I should try wearing a bikini sometime. I don't know. I think I'd get a lot of people unsubscribing, but maybe we'll do it. So, what you doing, Rokiera? She's sleeping and she's having a little dream right now. All right, let's see what else have we got. Blackout, Colorado. I didn't know. Didn't know you were one. Colorado cabin. Oh, John, yeah. So yeah, that was in the Colorado cabin. Are you talking about the one for Outside Magazine? So from the launch off, okay, let's see. Are you going to downsize to with a new winter tent? That's a good question, Joe. I think that it'll be roughly the same size, but it won't have the big vestibule. And so instead, what I'll have is an area of the tent that actually kind of leans forward a little bit, that has a slope of it, and that's where you zip open the tent, and then you kind of get inside and shake off your boots and stuff and still be outside, but have your body inside. And then it has a big tarp that goes over it almost to the ground, but it doesn't go all the way to the ground. So I'll have like kind of a little bit of a mud room, but it'll be more of an open tarp area that'll be covered. But it'd be good if it's snowing out. I don't have an area to go out and chop wood. And then the tent itself was going to have a center pole, and that's it. So there'll be a center pole in the middle, which that's where the stove will go up as well. And I'll have the stovepipe going out the top. And then it has walls that go out, and it's more of a square. So it'd be 12 by 12. And the current one that I have is 12 by 14, plus the vestibule, which is like another like 80 square feet roughly. It's like 8 by 10. And so that's a lot more room. But with the way that I would set it up here, I've got some ideas of where I can maximize kind of some outdoor spaces, so that I wouldn't really lose much as far as space. So good question though. But it's going to be a canvas tent, so it's not going to be as loud. So like on the nights where it's real windy, I won't be up all night. So be kind of nice. So all right, do I ever come to Europe, Bram? No, I've not been to Europe yet. I've been down to Central America and South America and up to Canada, but I've not been to Europe, and I'd love to one of these days. But I've got, there's so much to see here, and there's so much to see in the States too. That's what I tell people is like, you don't have to go international in order to have the adventure of a lifetime. And there's so much to see here in America that, you don't, there's so much to see like in like Kansas, that like people don't realize that. So there's stuff to see in every state. So you don't have to like go crazy to have like a good experience by having to go international. So let's see, Mario, you're asking like a TP, kinda. It's more of a wall tent, kind of like a bell tent, but not really. More square. So it have like a center tent that comes down to like walls that are about 2 feet up on the ground, and it has these flat walls that go down, and then it has a floor, has a zip-in floor that you can remove, which is real nice. It's like a bathtub style floor, so it would work out well. I'm gonna put this over here because no, let's see, put this over here maybe. This is getting hot. I've got a sitting on the blanket there, and the back of the stove was getting hot. So, or back of the computer was getting hot. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is a good one. So, yet me, you were talking about that girl Abby. That's or Gabby. Is it Gabby or Abby? That gal that was killed by that boyfriend. That's just horrible. So I really hope they find that guy. And that's one thing about being out here, as I have been in areas before. There's been two times where I've been in areas they were like there was like a manhunt, and I'm thinking, great, I'm out here camping. And both times it was winter camping. One was in Colorado. One was excuse me, near Flagstaff last winter. And that's the thing you think about out here is you think like, are there people that are on the run from the law, that have maybe killed some people or could be aggressive? Are they out here? And if so, am I in harm's way? That's why it's always good to have, protection. So I've got a 9 millimeter that I carry on me all the time. But it's crazy to think about. And so that dude's probably out on the Appalachian Trail somewhere, and all those hikers and everybody out there, they're in danger of that guy. So, I mean, he's probably laying low, trying to stay away from everybody, but I hope they catch him and bring that guy to justice. That's crazy. So let's see. Let's see. Roger and Luna, what tent would you recommend for winter camping with stove, knowing your tent is no longer on the market? Oh, cool. Thanks for that. Let me pin this up here. So there's a couple different, let's see, oh, that is pinned. Duh. Let's see, is it pinned? Let's see, how do I do this? Hang on one second. Okay, I guess it'll pin because it's an auto chat there or a super chat. So there's a couple different ones. Oh, hey Kathy, what's going on? Let's see here. I want to get the links for you. So I would recommend there's one called Snow Trekker, and they don't have a floor in these tents, but they're considered the best backpacking canvas tent on the market. And you can get some of the bigger ones that are there. And what you do is you put down like a tarp in the floor. Sorry, this is totally so there's Snow Trekker right there, which is pretty nice. They're from Wisconsin. It's a couple that makes those. They make them by hand up there. Those are really solid tents. And if you look, like a lot of people that go out in winter camp, that like in the Upper Peninsula and Michigan and all that stuff, like it's real popular up there. And if you ever see the ones where the people have like the toboggans where they have like the hip sled, it'll be attached to their hip and they're like going through snowshoeing and pulling a sled behind them with a stove and a tent. A lot of them are these stoves because they're made for that. They go out in like crazy conditions and they really hold up well. So that's a good one. There's another place called Ellis Tents, and they're out of Durango. So Ellis Tents. Oops. I got the really bad keyboard that Apple had on these last computers. I heard they're going back to their old keyboards, so I'm really pleased about that because these are bad. I think LS Tense looks pretty good. I just don't know anybody that has them, but that's out of Durango, so that's another nice company. So I think that those two, I'd recommend looking at those two. The nice thing about the nice thing about these is they're a little bit lighter weight than like a wall tent that you would get from say Cabela's, like those real heavy duty canvas wall tents. Because the problem with those is a lot of those have like a wood floor that you would set up. So you'd have to carry a massive amount of gear to set those up. So they have a wood floor, but then they have like a frame around them, like a little legit metal frame that's all the way around them that you put together. And it's pretty heavy and it takes two people to do that. And then you put the canvas over it. Typically, some of those big wall tents, they can be over 200 pounds with the floor. And so you think like, I don't want to carry that much gear. These tents you're looking at here, the Snow Trekker tents are like 15, 20 pounds. That's nothing. And then the Ellis tents, depending on the size that you would get, you're looking anywhere from like 30 to 50 pounds. So that's much more easy to handle. And when they pack down, they're not nearly as big. And so I like the looks of those. I think the Snow Trekker, if you look online, if you Google Snow Trekker tents on YouTube, you'll see a ton of videos. And people swear by them. They're like, those are the best tents. So the thing is, they don't have a floor though. So a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. What I will say is that after winter camping for so long, having a tent with a floor, I don't know what it is about winter camping, but you track in everything into that tent. And so not having a floor in there, actually having like a tarp down that you could just dust off, and then having like snow flaps that you can just bury your snow on the outside and create that airtight seal. If you had that, you'd be fine. The problem is if you don't have a floor in there and you want to go camp when it's cold, but it's real windy and there's no snow, then I mean you don't want to put a bunch of dirt on those snow flaps because it's going to make that tent look all dirty because it's canvas. And so I think that you would have a problem, with that. So the advantage to having like a floor, like a zip-in floor or a sealed floor or whatever, the advantage to that as opposed to just a tarp floor is that when it's real windy, you're not going to have that wind seepage, and the wind honks. I mean, at least in Colorado, up at elevation up there, it just gets crazy, and so that wind speed coming across the ground there, if you don't have something that's sealed, I mean, it just comes right into your tent, and it doesn't matter with your stove. You could have it going full bore, you'll be cold. So that's just what I would recommend. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see, what have we got here? Leadville, Colorado. Let's see what I don't know what they're asking about that. Let me know. I have some $9 can bring you. Oh, cool. That's two of them. That's awesome, man. Thank you very much. I'll have to get together, James, here soon. Once I get my truck back, and who knows when that will be. So, let's see, Leadville. Let's see, Wayward Station. I was talking about Durango. That's where Ellis is at. I've winter camped in Leadville, but it's kind of hard out there because a lot of the Forest Service roads, they have gates right where the pavement ends, and so you can't really get back in there very deep. I've also done winter camping in Crested Butte, but same thing out there. They close the gates, and you have to walk way in. So it's like a 2.5 mile walk in the snow, and it's kind of gnarly. And so that's where, some of the other areas of Colorado that I go to on the western slope and some other places, it's really nice because you're able to get into some of these spots. They don't have Forest Service gates. And so I do guard all of those locations with my life. I don't tell anybody where those are at because I really don't want those to blow up. And like the only people that I tell it to are full-time nomads that are doing full-time winter camping. And then I'll tell them where it's at because they know how scarce it is to find those sites. Like in 7 years, I've only found like a dozen sites that I can access full time. So it's pretty crazy. So Julia from Lenexa, Kansas. Hello back at you. I'm from Kansas. I grew up outside of Wichita. So let's see, Baby Yoda, you're asking how much I spend on firewood every month. In the wintertime, I would say on a really cold month like January or February, I might max out at $600 in firewood, but you got to think I'm buying smaller bundles. So like the smaller bundles have more of a premium on them because I can't carry a bunch of them in my truck. And so I can't buy like a cord or more, to get that advantage of buying a discount or getting a discount with a massive amount of wood. So I get basically like a backhoe, that it'll have like the front bucket on there. I'll fill up this whole front bucket with hardwood. And then I get that for, I think that's 160 if I remember correctly. And I may go get those like 3 times a month. Max would be 4. The total max would be 4, but mainly like 3 times a month. More like 2. But I will max out. I've had some month of 3 months and some or 3 times a month and some months of like 4 times a month. So Blue 50 foot blue. Alexa Sierra. Yep, she's just back here. She's just chilling, having a good day. She's just relaxing, having fun. So Curious Matters, you're in Parachute, but grew up in Colorado. That's cool, man. I know some good year-round spots. Yeah, Parachute has some good stuff, and all that stuff on the western slope over there, which I won't say where they're at. I don't want to. I don't want to have to do that, or I don't want to blow them up. So, um, yeah, that's a good point, Little Bear. You were talking about this, so like the 8x8 bell tent that you were talking about, and it's like literally you're sweeping it out all the time. That's what I do in my bighorn. Like before every video, I spend about 2 hours and clean that tent. And the main part of it's cleaning that tent floor and trying to get all the stuff out of there. So it's just crazy. I don't know what it is. It's like a magnet that attracts everything in there. And then like with the little opening that I have for the stove, where it zips out on the floor to where I can pull that back so where that area won't melt. Sometimes air will come up from underneath there and that just pulls so much debris up into my tent. Even if I have rocks around that opening, it'll still blow debris into my tent. So it's kind of crazy. So um, let's see, Michael McCoy, you're asking about Medicine Bow Forest in Wyoming much. No, I've not been up there. I'd like to go check that out. I do. I have spent some time up in northern Colorado, but I haven't been up to Wyoming, so I need to go up there and check that out. The Bud, do I fish at all? Yeah, I definitely do. I was planning to do a lot in Colorado this summer, but unfortunately Sierra got sick and I was sick too. So didn't get a chance to go up and hit the spots like I normally do, but I like to tenkara fly fish. That's kind of my thing. I don't have a full fly fishing setup just because of all the gear required with it, but the tenkara is nice because I can just bust that out on small streams and be fishing within 30 seconds. And I found that even though I've got a limited range with that, I've only got like about a 20-foot radius around me with the fixed line because I don't have a reel on that thing. So it's just it's a string tied to the end of the telescoping rod. But I found that if I'm stealth when I go up to the water's edge, I don't spook the fish. And then it's nice to be able to have that to like pinpoint and just like, oh, I see a fish there, bang, and you just hit them. And it's nice to not have any slack line up at the high elevation because like the crumb holes and stuff like that, or like the little willows or everything that are all on the side of the water's edge. you know, you get the slack line can get tangled up in that, and it is so frustrating. I have had that happen before, and it's like it tangles up there. And you're like, dude, I was just getting ready to like snag this awesome fish, and I was gonna cast, and I get snagged up, and then everything gets wonky, and it's just kind of a pain. So I do like the simplicity of the Tenkara, but you know, on big water, you're limited. You can't get out real far. So that's where it's nice if you can get up high, you know, to get close to a lake to be able to walk in with your waders. Then all those high altitude lakes usually have like a ridge around them where there's a ledge that drops off to real deep water. If you can get out to that and just fly fish out to those, like you're jamming. So I love that stuff. So thank you for the super chat there. All right, let's see. Hey Brian, hope you're doing well. Hi from Richmond, Virginia. Oh, cool. How do you keep your caster and cook from wrestling? Okay, that's a good question. So let me post this up real quick. All right, so what I do with the cast iron, let's come over here to the oh, my back. Ugh. Tell you what, I'm getting older. I can feel it. All right, let's go with the cast iron here. So I'll show you a couple things that I do. This is okay. So this is dirty right now. So this will be good. You kind of see what I did earlier is I cooked some sandwiches in here. So I made some eggs and all that stuff. So what I'll do right now is basically what's in here right now is just breadcrumbs and butter. And so butter is great for actually kind of seasoning that. So what I'll do with this is that if there's no like egg material, you know, or anything that can like spoil in there or get bad, then what I'll do is I'll just go in, I'll warm it up, and I'll take a paper towel and I'll just go through and wipe all the stuff out on the interior, and take a little bit of organic olive oil in there. You can also do like a bunch of different types of oils, like grapeseed oil, stuff like that. The thing about olive oil is if you use it and then keep reheating it, it can be like they say it can be cancerous. But if you're using it for a one-time application to season it, I think you're in good shape. So, but just go ahead. What you do, I would warm up the cast iron and grab a paper towel here. So I just grab a simple paper towel and probably do one for each. Wait for it to get a little bit warmer, and then, like I said, the butter is going to be great for seasoning this. And then once I get this all kind of cleaned up and make sure it looks the way I want, then I'm going to take a little bit of this and coat it, and it makes it real nice. One thing you don't ever want to do is you don't ever want to leave water standing in here. You can boil water in here, and that's actually how I clean. Like if I do meat in here and there's anything left and it's really kind of caked on and kind of like on there hard, I'll put water in here and boil it, and that will release it from there, but it won't make the seasoning come undone. So because you don't want to scrub it real hard. Another thing too is you can have these little tools like this, and I got this. It's a Lodge. It's just like a skillet key, I guess, if you will. It's real great to use these because you can get into all the little pocket areas and just use this to like scrape all the stuff off. And so it's wonderful for that. And it's heat. It's like it's with this being hot, you can still use it. It won't melt it. I've used credit cards in the past, which are real great because they're flexible for like cleaning out your cast iron. But the problem with the credit cards is they melt. And you don't want to have that, around your stove here. So starting to warm up a little bit. Let me show you what this is going to look like here. So you can see that there's like the butter and stuff around here. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to start just wiping this around and see what we get. And it looks like it's cleaned up pretty good. We got a little bit of crumbs here, so I'm going to take those crumbs and dump them out. Okay, so we've got pretty much a clean skillet there. And what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of this, put it in there, and then take the same deal here, but take a clean part of it and let this kind of go around a little bit, and then wipe it on. And then we're good to go. And I'll wipe it on the outside too. And then I'll also clean the bottom part around the edges, because sometimes when I'm cooking, you can get material on the outsides as well. So that cleaned up really nice. That was real simple. And I found that over the years, whoops, let me, whoops, what am I doing there? Sorry, my screen went kind of wonky. But I found over the years that as long as I keep seasoning this, it keeps getting easier and easier to clean. And I'll use, instead of like using olive oil in here, I'll use butter. So I'll use like a stick of butter if I'm cooking stuff, and it's really easy. You just take this on here, you just put it on, and then you're good to go. And then if you want to use that to come in and season it a little bit more, you can. And that'll just make a great like natural non-stick surface there. And I use the stuff that's not salted. I've just found that for whatever reason that seems to help out with it not sticking. And so that's really nice to use that stuff. And now that it's warmed up, we'll turn this off. I'm going to do this one as well. See how this cleans up. And see, once you warm it up, it cleans up real good, especially if the base was butter. Okay. And so if the butter if you use butter at the base when you're cooking, when you warm this back up again, the butter will warm up again and create it to where it's easy to get all these little food particles out of here. So all that is just crumbs left over from the bread that I cooked, that I basically got. Okay, now there's a little bit on here, right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to take this off. See if that works. Yep, and it does. And so we don't need to boil any water in here. If I wasn't able to get the meat out, like if there was meat in here and it was kind of caked in and I wasn't able to get it out, what I would do is I would actually, well, let's not do that. What I would do is I would put water in here and boil it, and then use a little scrubber like this. That's not too not too firm. You don't want to use a metal one. You want to use like ones that have like little plastic bristles. This is a little MSR backpacking one, so it's actually kind of soft. But if you boil water in there and let it boil for a little bit, it will loosen up whatever's attached to it. Then you can come through and knock it off with this, and it won't mess with the seasoning. Because if you go in there and you really scrub, if you were to use something like this and go in there and scrub like crazy, it'll knock it off. And that's like, you'll see in there when you do that, it'll start to get like all the black stuff will start to come off, and that's your seasoning. You don't want to have that happen. You also don't want to use any soap in there. So some people say like, oh, you don't want to use soap. That's weird. Well, that's where you would boil water to kill anything, And I mean, you're typically, when you're done cooking, I like to just clean my stuff right when I'm done cooking, because I'll cook and then I'll eat, and let it cool down just a tad bit, come back, clean it all up, and then you're good to go. And then next time you cook, you're ready to cook right out of the gate. Like, you don't want to have it to where you really got to do a lot of work on your cast iron in order to make a meal, because that's kind of frustrating. So I would recommend, if you're going to do it, just stay on top of it. And eventually, I mean, just keep working with it, and they're going to get real seasoned real nice. And using the butter, that's real nice. Like I said, unsalted butter, use that and you're good to go as your base, and then you're able to clean it pretty good. So, all right, let's come back. Let's see. I come back over here, and Sierra can smell the cast iron going, and she's like all licking her lips. She's like, "Hey, I'm ready for dinner." Oh, which reminds me, I gotta feed you, punk. I haven't fed you yet. I'm sorry, baby girl. We gotta get you fed, baby stinkers. Let's get you some treats. All right, let's get Sierra fed, and then we're probably gonna log off here shortly and get my evening going. I got to figure out what's going on. I mean, just the truck and everything. It's just so frustrating right now. And I want to show you some. These are the dehydrated chicken heads I was telling you about that I got for Sarah. She loves these things. Look at her. She's coming over here right now. She's like, I hear it. I hear the chicken heads. So it's a little chicken head thing. But it's super dehydrated, and so it's basically like a cracker for. You want this, baby girl? Okay, we're gonna give her one of these. I gotta figure out. Here you go, Punky. Come here. There you go. Come here. That's for you. Come here. That's for you, baby girl. All right, so we're gonna get her fed, and then I'm gonna go ahead and log off. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in. Let's go outside and look and see if the storm's gonna hit. It looks like it's kind of the cloud cover kind of came in here. So let's see if go outside. Let's see how we're looking on weather. Oh yeah, it's definitely. Oh yeah. Well, it looks like something's coming in, so maybe it's just a little bit late about getting here. But let's see over there. You see, like, definitely we got some sunlight coming through, but not too bad. But yeah, it looks like something's coming in. I want to show you real quick what I did. So this is funny. So I've got a shovel and then a rake holding up my little awning here. And then I've got a bungee cord holding it down to make sure with the wind doesn't flip up, because these aren't connected, these garden tools. But I figured, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then a friend of mine, Chad, came over. He's like, dude, that's so off-grid redneck. I'm like, yep. And I'm like, whatever works. So, and also too, I've tarp here, like I was saying, I was taking a beating. I was able to get it redone for the storm here. But I think we're definitely probably gonna have that thing toasted here pretty soon, because I want to build the RV, cover over this, so we don't have to worry about the rain. But there's only so many hours in the day, so we'll see. But thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll have another video up soon. I've got it of when We did Engineer Pass with Tim from Truck House Life. So I've got a little bit of that, and then also some stuff here. We had a really cool morning where there were really great clouds rolling through, and they were real low. The clouds were actually below us, and so it was cool. I had a really good morning of that, and then I took a bunch of video today, and so we'll see how that works out. So we got some stuff from around here, and like I said, that video of Sierra like taking us through the rock garden earlier today, like right after the rain, and that's really cool because the footage there it's just real pretty right after the rain. So it'll be awesome. So anyway, just want to say thanks everybody for tuning in, and also too. Apologize to my Patreon subscribers. I like for the last like month and a half, I've just been burnt out as far as like doing content. So I've just been doing the bare minimum on YouTube. But I'm getting ready to start up with the ruins stuff again. I just got to get my truck back, but I've got some new coordinates that the Forest Service sent me for me to go out and take pictures of ruins that I've not been to. So like, you know, I don't ever put that stuff on YouTube, but I plan to start up on Patreon again with that. And then also a little bit more in-depth stuff about the ranch. So that'll get started up again. I just took a break for a little while, but it'll be back up again this week. And hopefully with my truck, you know, we'll see what goes on with that. But I'll keep everybody posted. And if anybody comes across a K5 Blazer with that drop-in camper in the back, the four-wheel camper, shoot me the information because I want to buy it. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you all have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for the well wishes for Sierra, and we'll see y'all in the next live stream. Thanks. All right, baby girls, get your